everyone. So today I'm gonna show you if I can beat the robot of Danny in chess, which has 2500 So let's get right into it. I'm playing this with white pieces. First I'll choose to move my pawn to e4. It moved its pawn to c5. So now I can develop my knight to f3. And now I should move my bishop to b5 check. It moved its bishop to d7, blocking the check. So now I should capture its bishop with my bishop and check the king. Later I captured my bishop with its queen. So now I should castle. It moved its pawn to e6. So now I should move my pawn to c4. And now it moved its knight to c6. So now I can develop my knight to c3. And now my pawn to d4. It captured my pawn with its pawn, so I should recapture it with my knight. It moved its bishop to e7. So now I should capture its knight with my knight. It recaptured my knight with its queen. So now I should move my queen to e2. And now I should move my rook to e1. Bishop to f4. It moved its rook to c8. So now it can capture my pawn on c4 with its queen. I will recapture it with my queen. And it will capture my queen with its rook, gaining one pawn. But I will not let it happen, so I will move my pawn to b3. And now I should move my pawn to h3. Now I should move my knight to d5. It moved its bishop to d8. So now captured its pawn with mine. It recaptured my pawn with its queen. So now I should capture its knight with my knight. And now I should capture its queen with my queen. It recaptured my queen with its pawn. So move my rook to c1. And now I should retreat my bishop to e3. And I should recapture its rook with my rook. It moved its rook to a8. So now I should move my rook to a1. And now I should capture its bishop with my bishop. It recaptured my bishop with its pawn. So I should move my pawn to a4. And now it moved its rook to a5. So now I should move my king to f1. Its king to f8. So now I should move my pawn to g4. And now my king to e1. Now I should capture its pawn with my pawn. And now in this position I should move my rook to d1. And now I should capture its pawn with my pawn. It recaptured my pawn with its rook. So now I should move my pawn to d6. And now I should move my rook to d3. Now it is offering for a trade. So I move my rook to a3. And now I should check the king with the rook to a6. And now I should move my rook to a7. It moved its rook to d3. So and now I should move my king to f1. King to g2. Now I should move my rook to a5 check. My rook to a4 check. My rook to a3 check. My rook to a4 check. My rook to a5 check. And now I should move my rook to a4 check. My rook to a3 check. And now I should move my rook to a2 check. Rook a3. Rook a2. And now I should move my rook to a6. And my rook to b6 check. My king to g3. My pawn to f3. And now I should move my rook to b3 check. And now my rook to b4 check. To b7. To f2. And now I should move my king to g3. it moved its rook to h7, so now I should move my rook to d7, check. Now I should move for my king to g2. Now in this position I should move my rook to a7, and now my rook to a4, check. Rook to a3, check. Rook to a2, check. Rook to a3, again check. Now I should move my rook to a2, rook a3, rook a4, rook a5, and now I should move my king to g3, and now my rook to a4, check. My rook to a3, check. My rook to a2, check. My rook to a3, check. Rook a4, and now rook to a5, check. It moved its king to c4, so I should move my rook to a4, check. I should move my rook to a3, check. My rook to a4, my rook to a3, check. My rook to a2, check. My rook to a3, check. And now I should move for my rook to a7, my rook to b7, check. My rook to c7, check. King to f2, and now I should move my king to g3. It moved its rook to h1, so I should move my king to f2, my king to g3, and now I should capture its pawn with my rook, and now I should capture its pawn with my pawn again. It moved its rook to d3, so now it is giving a check to my king, so I should move my king to f2, and now I should move my rook to b7, and my rook to b4, check. My rook to b5, check. Now I should move my rook to b2, and now my rook to e2, check. And now in this position I should move my king to g2, and also now my rook to f2, and now my rook to a2, rook f2, and now I should capture its pawn with my rook. It moved its rook to f2, check. Now I should move my rook to f2. It captured my rook with its king, so I should recapture it. It moved its king to h3, so I should move my king to f3. And now I should move my king to f2. Now I should move my king to e3. And now in this position I should move my king to d4. It promoted its pawn to a queen and checked my king, so I should move my king to c4. And now my king to b5, king to b6, and now my king to b7, king to a6, king to b7, and now my king to a8. It moved its queen to d7, so I should move my king to b8, my king to a8, my king to b8, and now my king to a8. So now it did checkmate with queen to b7. So let's review the game. That is analyzing the game.
Tough loss there. They clinched it with some slick endgame skills.
So let's see which moves we made. I made one brilliant move while it didn't make any 12 great moves, while it only made 2. I made 38 best moves while it made 55. I made 3 mistakes. It didn't make any. I didn't make any miss or blunder while it made 2 miss and 0 blunder. So now for the opening, middle game and end game ones. In the opening we both did great. In the middle game I did brilliant while it did great, and in the end game I did best while it also did good. Now for the elo. For the elo, it did 2400 and I did 2350. So now for the accuracy. For the accuracy, it did 96.6% and I did 93.1%. So let's start the reviewing. And I will also just let you listen to the coach what it is saying because it will give a better explanation.
Alright, you're going for e4, the classic move, okay? Your opponent's clearing the way to castle kingside. They want their king safe. Hang on, is that a free knight? Oh wait, this is pure brilliance, I see you. You got a free pawn. Nice steal, smooth like butter. Dude, you missed the only good move. Ouch. You found the only move. What a find. You found the only move. What a find. That's the only move. And you nailed it. What a find. You kept your cool and saved the rook. Well done. You found the only move. What a find. This is huge. You dodged that check like Neo dodging bullets. Big off. That move is not the one. That's the only move. You found it. Insane. That's the only move. You found it. Insane. That's the only move. You found the chef's kiss move. Only one good move and you spotted it. Sharp like a tack. You found the only move. What a find. You found the only move. What a find. Like a ninja, you just slipped right out of that check from the rook. That's the only move. And you nailed it. What a find. You dodged that rook check like Neo in the Matrix. You just snapped up that pawn for free. Can't beat that, right? You found the only move. What a find. This is huge. You defended that pawn like a pro. Nice. Your best move was to defend a pawn that was under attack. Checkmate. GG. Maybe next time.
So I hope that you liked the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Please comment how you thought the video was and have a nice day.